working in the spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maddie Jansen. Highway 58 is backed up for going on 3 hours now after a crash that happened just after 9 a.m. Two big rigs and another vehicle crashed just west of Chester, according to CHP, just after 9 this morning. So still a backup. It's already kind of a place that gets a lot of traffic because of construction in the area. Fortunately, there were only minor injuries, but definitely avoid that area, westbound 58 between Chester and the northbound Highway 99 on-ramp if you can. A man wanted for sexually assaulting a teenage girl at the Target at Valley Plaza Mall on Tuesday has been arrested. The Bakersfield Police Department has said 65-year-old Stephen Waldo was arrested early this morning and booked into the Kern County Jail on suspicion of annoying a child. The department said Waldo was pretending to be a loss prevention officer at Target and told the girl, who was between 13 and 15 years old, that he needed to search her. He then took her near the women's restroom and sexually assaulted her. Waldo is due in court tomorrow. Meantime, the search continues for a man BPD says molested a young elementary school-aged girl on her way home from school. He's reportedly in his 40s, 5 foot 6 inches tall, 200 pounds with a lazy, droopy right eye. Police say the man grabbed the girl and molested her on Hollyhock Lane in southwest Bakersfield. If you have any information, call police at 327-7111. We're learning more about the tour bus crash that killed a member of country singer Josh Turner's crew just before the band is scheduled to play the Kern County Fair Monday night. The crash happened overnight on Highway 46 in San Luis Obispo County. The crew was leaving after a concert at Vina Robles on their way to Yakima, Washington for a concert tomorrow. The CHP says one passenger, David Turner, was killed in the crash. There are numerous reports that he was Josh Turner's sound engineer but was not related to the singer. The crash that happened just before midnight on Highway 46 near Shandon. Officers say for unknown reasons, the 39-year-old driver, identified by the CHP as Bradley Dratnall, left the road and the bus launched off a 50-foot embankment into a dry riverbed. 2 people were ejected, 1 died. Paramedics rushed 6 others to local hospitals, and 1 person was flown to a trauma center in Fresno. The CHP has ruled out drugs or alcohol being a cause of the crash. Josh Turner and the band were in a different bus and were not hurt. The CHP reports the bus was traveling approximately 55 to 60 miles per hour. The speed limit in the area is 55. The bus following says they saw no brake lights when the bus left the road. The CHP says they'll be impounding the vehicle to see if there are any mechanical issues. CHP is also looking into whether medical issues were a factor. We've been in touch with Kern County Fair officials about Monday night's concert, and they say as of now it is not canceled, but we will keep you posted as we learn more. Making news around the world now. Today's Secretary of State Mike Pompeo responded to Iran's comments about an all-out war if the U.S. strikes Iran, after Pompeo accused Iran of firing missiles and drones at Saudi Arabia's main oil facility. There was talk of a military option against Iran. Earlier today, Iran's foreign minister said if the U.S. strikes Iran, there will be an all-out war. In Abu Dhabi, Pompeo repeated that it's clear that Iran is behind the attack and that the U.S. is pursuing peaceful options while Iran is talking war. Pompeo also said there's agreement among countries about how to respond to Iran's actions.
I was sent here to work to make sure that I understood how our friends and allies here in the region were viewing the challenge and the threats posed by the Islamic Republic of Iran. I certainly accomplished that.
Pompeo said he's there to build out a coalition aimed at achieving a peaceful resolution. The Department of the Interior announced that 560 acres of federal land will be transferred to the U.S. Army for the border wall. The U.S. Army will take possession of the land to expedite the process of building the border wall, highly touted by President Trump. The move marks the first time the government has transferred land for an emergency purpose to build a barrier on the border. The acting assistant secretary for land and minerals calls this action necessary to preserve the nation's values. The announcement came as the president was in California visiting a newly completed section of the border wall. Constructing the wall was one of the president's signature promises, but despite promising that Mexico would pay for the wall, the president is using billions of dollars from the Defense Department. The Washington Monument has reopened after being closed 3 years for renovations. First Lady Melania Trump participated in a ribbon-cutting ceremony today at the monument, joined by a group of 4th graders. The 555-foot stone obelisk was closed in September 2016 in order to replace the aging elevator and upgrade security systems. Construction on the monument began in 1848 and took nearly 40 years to complete. The monument remains the tallest building in Washington, D.C. and averages about 500,000 visitors a year. And it's reopening just in time for our Kern County Honor Flight veterans. They leave for our nation's capital today, and the organization's asking you to help welcome them home when they return this weekend. Our local World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam veterans always need a hero's welcome home when they arrive back, just like the one they receive when they arrive at our nation's capital. The veterans are flown to D.C. for free to see the war memorials built in their honor. So we're asking you to come out and help welcome them home. Their flight is scheduled to arrive back at 8:45 Saturday night at Meadows Field. All right, let's check out that forecast on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. Perfect fair weather out there, Vanessa.
Hey, Maddie, yeah, it is beautiful out there, and I really can't believe it right now. We're looking at 72-degree temperatures in Bakersfield. So, like you mentioned, definitely a perfect opportunity for you to go ahead and make your way out to the fair today. So, taking a look, though, we are seeing 48% humidity levels out there for us. Some calm winds, although we are going to see some breezy conditions in the next several days. For our outdoor forecast, though, we're looking at those 70s for the remainder of today. And if you're making your way out to the fair tonight, you are going to see those low 60s later in those later evening hours. Of course, in Tehachapi, we're looking at similar conditions, only slightly cooler, 57 degrees out there for us. And of course, we see that slight cool down in those evening hours. We're looking at those mid to high 50s. Have a look at your full weather forecast coming up in Pinpoint Weather. Maddie.
All right, thanks so much, Vanessa. Well, the Kern County Fair is officially underway, and there are 11 days left of fair fun and plenty of delicious new dishes to try, from lobster fries to 2-feet-long corn dogs. Gates open to the general public today at 3 p.m. and the fair runs through Sunday, September 29th. Here's some of the information you need to know. The fair admission is $12 for adults. Kids get in for $5, seniors $9, and kids 5 and under free. Military also get in for free. And you can get cheaper tickets if you buy them online beforehand. Adult passes are $10. Kids 6 through 12 are just $4. You can buy your ticket to get a QR code and print it out, or you can just save paper and use your phone. You can buy those at kerncountyfair.com. Plus, you'll find a whole schedule of events for the fair. Of course, there's always an option for folks to get in free at least one day, depending on the different specials each day. The gates open in just a few hours. Today was Special Friends Day, but you can find a full list of the special days online. We've linked that to KGET.com. An alarming number of cancer cases are being linked to something most of us use every day. We'll have the report coming up in your 17 Health Watch, and an alarming new study about breast cancer in men. We'll be right back. We're back now on your 17 Health Watch this afternoon. Breast cancer is considered to be a disease that affects mostly women, but men can get it too. And when they do, it's likely more deadly. A new study from Vanderbilt University looked at nearly 2 million people diagnosed with breast cancer. It showed the 3-year survival rate for men was just over 86% compared to nearly 92% for women. After 5 years, 77% of men were still alive compared to 86% of women. A new study suggests over 100,000 cancer cases may stem from contaminants in tap water. Scientists calculated the combined health effects of 22 carcinogens found in U.S. water systems. They say the most of the cancer risk comes from arsenic and radioactive elements like uranium. The highest risk was found in smaller communities that rely on groundwater. Experts say installing a water filter can reduce exposures to these contaminants. More troubling news about the growing vaping epidemic. A new study shows e-cigarette use among teens has doubled within the past 2 years. Researchers from the University of Michigan looked at data from over 40,000 adolescents. Over a quarter of high school seniors and 20% of sophomores said they had vaped within the last month. 1 in 11 8th graders admitted to using e-cigarettes as well. Experts say parents should pay close attention to these devices, which often look like flash drives. The CDC is currently investigating 380 cases of respiratory illness linked to vaping. Well, have you ever woken up in the morning, your jaw aching, teeth feeling a little brittle, or just with an awful headache? You might be taking out your stress on your teeth. Juliana Falk reports.
At Green Bay Family Dental, Dr. Eric Olvey sees a lot of patients.
Just keep doing what you're doing. It's working for you.
Thank you.
Any questions for me?
With a similar issue.
We do a fair amount. There's a number of possible causes.
That issue?
Teeth grinding and teeth clenching and the effects of it are something we deal with almost every day.
Taylor Castor works at Dr. Olvey's office and is also one of the many patients who struggles with this.
I was starting to have jaw pain. I would wake up in the morning and have headaches.
Many times it's stress.
You don't even really realize it, and especially when you're trying to fall asleep and you're thinking about what's going on the next day.
Dr. Olvey says stress is one of the common causes for grinding and clenching.
I think young people, whether they're college students or getting out into the working world, might be showing signs of their stress through their teeth.
And doing that, he says, can cause a lot more issues than just pain.
There's every bit of a risk for teeth damage, teeth wear, damaged dental restorations, and then in the severe cases, you can actually crack teeth so severely that they're non-restorable.
So how can you try to prevent this from happening?
We have, the use of mouth guards in addition to maybe some behavioral modifications, getting enough sleep, making sure they're healthy, watching their sugar and their caffeine intake.
Mouth guards keep the teeth from touching. Dr. Olvey says teeth are only supposed to touch for about 20 minutes a day for things like chewing and talking.
And the rest of the day, the teeth are supposed to be separated from each other. And so the concept behind our use of a mouth guard is that they keep the teeth apart and keep the teeth subsequently protected.
And as people like Castor say, that could be enough.
I'll put my mouth guard in even before I fall asleep, and I can tell a difference even just from that. Sometimes I wish I could wear it during the day.
It's not just at night that people might be grinding or clenching. It can also happen during the day. Dr. Uvla says that stress is just one of the reasons for tooth wear, and it can also be from a sleep disorder like sleep apnea. All right, storm watch now. Drivers stranded by rising waters in the Houston area had to be rescued by emergency crews early this morning. Crews were out in force as Tropical Depression Imelda continued to drench southeast Texas. Major roads were left impassable, and emergency officials are encouraging people to stay home and not try to drive through the rising waters. One area near a tire repair shop flooded, letting tires float off and into the road. Crews are working to clear the road and find drivers who may be stranded by the flash flooding. Imelda is not expected to move out of the region until late tonight at its earliest. Forecasters are calling for continued wet and stormy weather for the next 12 to 24 hours. All right, back here at home, a very different story. Sunny skies and beautiful temperatures. Vanessa?
That's right, Maddie. It is beautiful out there right now. We are taking a look at those clear, sunny skies, and it just looks gorgeous. Definitely a perfect opportunity for you to hit the fair right now. So go ahead and take a look at our radar and satellite, though, before you do. We are expecting clear skies in Bakersfield for the remainder of this week, although we are going to see some breezy conditions in those morning hours. I'll get into the details in just a little bit. Current conditions, so we are expecting 61 in Lake Isabella, 70 in Arvin. Tehachapi, you're looking at 57 degrees, 61 in Fraser Park, and 71 in Rosamond. And for our regional current temperatures, we are expecting 76 in Los Angeles. Similar conditions to Southern California, 73 in San Diego, 97 in Phoenix, 70 in Flagstaff. As far as our regional forecast goes, we are also seeing 80 degrees in Sacramento, as well as Fresno, and we're also seeing 70 in Morro Bay, 73 in San Francisco. Taking a look at our Pinpoint Valley forecast, look at those 70s across the board. Definitely gorgeous conditions for us. These are our highs, mid to high 70s, really pretty much across the board. 79 in Wasco as well as Shafter, 79 in Bakersfield, 78 Arvin. We're also looking at those northwestern winds going up to 5 to 10 miles per hour, 77 degrees in Porterville as well. Pinpoint Mountain forecast, we are expecting those windy conditions to pick up in the morning, and then we see that pretty much clear up in the later afternoon hours, but we do see that windy, breezy condition in the evening as well. Western winds can make their way up to 25 to 30 miles per hour, with gusts even making their way up to 40 miles per hour. 60s pretty much, 70s as well across the board. 71 in Weldon, 74 in Lake Isabella as well as Kernville, 73 in Wofford Heights. Pinpoint Desert forecast sunny and windy conditions. Western winds can go up to 20 to 30 miles per hour, with gusts making their way up to 45 miles per hour. Again, if you are making your way out the door, you want to maybe grab a light jacket just to stay warm, because it is slightly cooler than what we've expected this time of year. 84 degrees, though, in Ridgecrest, California City, 79 as well. Mojave, you're looking at 77 degrees, 81 for us in Edwards, and things start to drastically cool down in those evening hours. We're looking at those low 50-degree temps. For our valley forecast, we are expecting that cloud coverage in the morning. We saw that, but things pretty much are clear as you saw that live picture. So if you're making your way outdoors, it is gorgeous out there for us, and we're looking at a high of 79 degrees for us today, and then things are going to stay in those 80s. We'll have a high of 93 degrees by Sunday, and the first day of fall, we are seeing 85 degrees, gorgeous conditions, sunny, clear skies as well. For our mountain forecast, our first day of fall, we'll see that cloudy condition, cloud coverage in the morning. And then we see those 70s pretty much for the remainder of this week. 66 degrees will be our high today with windy conditions. And for the Kern Valley forecast, we are seeing that cloud coverage. We saw it earlier this morning, and we see that clear up. And tomorrow we're looking at sunny, clear skies pretty much for the remainder of the week. And we're seeing breezy conditions come Sunday. 89 degrees that day will be our high, and we're pretty much just staying in those 80s for the remainder of this week. So definitely something to be excited about, Maddie. I mean, it's like you mentioned earlier, we can't ask for better weather.
Oh, seriously, especially because we talk about how we expect these hot temperatures for fair time.
Exactly.
So this is so welcome.
So exciting.
Thanks so much, Vanessa. Still ahead, your 17 Business Watch. That's after the break. We'll have a look at how profitable it is these days to flip houses.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
We're back in your 17 Business Watch and taking a look at stocks this afternoon. Right now, the Dow is down just about 17 points, but the NASDAQ is on the upside 14. The S&P 500 little changed, up 3 points. Let's check out oil prices while we're at it. They are up today. West Texas Intermediate selling for $58.37 a barrel, and Midway Sunset started the day at $61.36 a barrel. The rate of return on flipping houses has dropped to nearly an 8-year low. Adam Data Solutions released its report on the second quarter, which found nearly 60,000 single-family homes and condos flipped between April and July. Returns on home flips have dropped 6 quarters in a row. 8 of the last 10 now standing at the lowest level since the end of 2011. It's still profitable, just not as profitable as it once was, according to Adam Data Solutions. The number of Americans filing applications for unemployment benefits increased last week, but less than expected. Experts say that points to a strong labor market that should continue to support a moderately growing economy. 213,000 new claims were forecast. Only 208,000 claims were reported. The 4-week moving average, which is considered a better measure of labor market trends, actually fell last week. General Motors is recalling more than 177,000 2018 Chevy Malibus. The recall for sedans with the 1.5-liter Turbo 4 engine. Chevy says a software glitch could disable the fuel injector. That could cause the engine to stall and could cause a crash. Chevy will contact owners about a fix. The repair will be free for owners, and a reimbursement plan will be available for those who paid to fix the problem out of pocket. Well, do you care if your carrot looks a little crazy? If not, you may be able to get a discount on some veggies. We'll explain the company providing that up next. Welcome back. Don't judge a book by its cover. It's a life lesson that a national delivery service is applying to your food. Imperfect Produce takes the ugly fruits and veggies that retailers don't want and delivers them right to your door at a discounted price. Kelsey Christensen reports.
Carrots are usually one of the wackiest items we have. Oftentimes with potatoes, they're overgrown.
This produce just didn't make the cut for the grocery store.
Big thing for bell peppers is the produce buyers want them to be able to look nice on the shelf.
That's why Chris Eidecker says the delivery service Imperfect is putting ugly produce to use.
When they are getting stuff from farm to your table, it's kind of a numbers game where they'll grow more than they know they're going to sell.
That's where Imperfect comes in. Delivering any funky, ugly, or extra produce, even packed food near its sell-by date, right to your door.
If you had it cut up, prepared for you, and served, you'd have no idea it was ugly. This is just a drop in the bucket that we're able to retrieve from the waste system.
In fact, about 40% of produce in the U.S. is wasted every year.
Oftentimes what customers say to us is they're shocked that there's nothing wrong with it.
Imperfect Produce doesn't only save you around 30%, but it helps to cut your carbon footprint. Eidecker says Imperfect is always looking for local farmers to partner with, including food banks to take in extra produce.
So far, Imperfect Produce says it saved 40 million pounds of produce and donated around 3 million pounds to charities. The company estimates this has saved at least 1.2 billion gallons of water as well. And we checked Imperfect's website. Right now, the company does not deliver to Bakersfield, but it hopes to soon. When we come back here on 17 News at Noon, we're taking you back out to the Kern County Fair to meet one of the young 4-H students showing her goat this year. Welcome back. Finally here at noon, we're taking you back out to the Kern County Fair to meet one of the young 4-H students showing her goat at this year's fair. The fair may be 12 days long, but months and months go into preparing for the kids in 4-H and FFA. For them, this is a culmination of a lot of early mornings and hard work. This is Everly Trammell's 4th year showing goats at the fair.
I love spending time with animals, and I love showing my animals, so I get cool prizes and stuff.
She says her favorite part about her goat is his Mickey Mouse markings. Pretty cute. Very adorable. Well, that's all for us here on 17 News at Noon. We hope you'll join us for our special newscast from the fairgrounds tonight at 17 News at 5 and 6. And don't forget to tune into our disaster preparedness web chat on KGET.com and our KGET Facebook page. It starts in about 5 minutes, and today's topic is Smart 911.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app in the spirit of the Golden Empire. 17 News.